There has been some new announcements regarding the next book on Leigh Bardugo's Nikolai duology. We now have the title, a release date, and the cover design. We also have a bit of a blurb. I wanted to quickly go over everything we got and talk about it a bit. We're going to go over the EW article on the announcement and see what it says. First of all, the release date is March 30th, 2021, which is actually way sooner than I expected. I'm used to books being announced a year in advance, so I was expecting this in fall 2021. They must have pushed forward, which is great. That is about 7 months from now. Not bad at all. This makes me think they pushed forward the release of the book a bit, maybe because of the Netflix show. That's like super speculation, but that actually makes sense. You gotta get that marketing whenever you can. I'll talk a bit about the Netflix show at the end of the video, but let's start with the title already, which is Rule of Wolves. So I was actually expecting this book to take place in Shuhan, but the title implies Fjerda. We have already been to Fjerda, so it would have been nice to see a different place in the world. Maybe we will still get it. The book is going to be around 160,000 words, similar to Crooked Kingdom, so I'm not sure if there is enough time for both. The first book had two distinct storylines, so why not? Let's check the cover before we continue to talk about the book. Leigh Bardugo says, "We knew the readers would be expecting another metallic cover, but we wanted to create something different." Natalie, meaning the designer Natalie Souza, had an idea for something sinister and beautiful that would evoke carved bone, as if the glamour of the gold from King of Scars had been stripped away to reveal the truth of the story. I really love the design. There is this bare tree carved in bone and 4 animals in the corners, again carved in bone. There's an eagle or a falcon, a dragon, a fox, and finally a wolf. There's a crest in the middle with the title similar to the King of Scars cover, and the letters seem like cut out and showing red underneath. The dragon looks a bit derpy. I think it's the tongue. It looks like a baby's arm coming out of its mouth. It might help to make it a bit smaller, but I guess the dragon could symbolize Zoya, and the wolf could symbolize Matthias's wolf, Trassel. Oh, by the way, this video might have spoilers for the whole Grishaverse. I assume you have read King of Scars, and it's a continuation of both Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows series, so I don't want to spoil anything for you, but we can't talk about anything otherwise, so be warned. The wolf had an important part to play in the first book. It was like the last thing that remained from Matthias for Nina, but it might just generally represent Fjerda too. The fox could represent Nikolai, because Alina called him a too clever fox, I think, but also if the bird is an eagle, it could be the Lansoff crest, as in the cover of King of Scars. But it's not an eagle, right? It's a hawk or a falcon, probably. I can't really be sure. The tree is definitely the ash tree, right? The Fjerdans are buried near the roots of an ash tree, so it probably represents Fjerda itself, but maybe also death, because Leigh Bardugo posted on her Twitter and said, "There is kissing in this book, there is death in this book, there are cameos in this book, there are twists in this book, there are monsters of every variety in this book." I mean, kissing is for sure. Like that's Zokolai or Nikoya. What is the shipping name for Zoya Nikolai? That's happening for sure. But also not sure what the deal is with Nina and Hannah. Just friends. Nina is not ready yet, but maybe time to move on. There was also the Shoe Princess Eri. Shoe needs better representation on the series generally, so we'll see about that. Death part, I'm not so sure. It's probably going to be someone lame. Honestly, Leigh Bardugo lost a lot of credibility for me in killing characters department after she brought back the Darkling to life. I already talked about it in my King of Scars review, so I'll just link it in the description if you'd like to check out, but I hated the end of King of Scars. I think the Darkling should have stayed dead, so maybe he'll die again in this book, but it's just going to be a worse death. Cameos are interesting. I don't really care for them, but it might be fun if they run into Jesper or something, and maybe he's on a mission to do something, and we get a small glimpse on the next adventure of the Crows. That could be a nice continuity thing, but I don't care about random cameos. The twists, I'm not sure again, because if the twist is going to be like the last time when it was like, the Darkling is alive, then I don't want it. I'm cautious about this book after King of Scars. not gonna lie. Leigh Bardugo says, I think of this as the allies and enemies book because those relationships are constantly shifting as Nikolai tries to keep his country from all-out war. Let's check the synopsis posted on EW. The wolves are circling and the young king will face his greatest challenge in the explosive finale of the instant #1 New York Times best-selling King of Scars duology, The Demon King. That's Nikolai. As Fjerda's massive army prepares to invade, Nikolai Lantsov will summon every bit of his ingenuity and charm, and even the monster within to win this fight. But a dark threat looms that cannot be defeated by a young king's gift for the impossible. So the whole thing about King of Scars was Nikolai trying to learn how to control his demon side. I wonder what the dark threat is. It would be exciting if we didn't have the Darkling and we got a new villain, but we'll see. The Storm Witch. Zoya Nazyalensky has lost too much to war. She saw her mentor die and her worst enemy resurrected, and she refuses to bury another friend. Now duty demands she embrace her powers to become the weapon her country needs, no matter the cost. I loved what King of Scars did with Zoya. I hadn't liked her much in the previous books, but King of Scars really made me love that character, so I'm excited to see whatever is going to happen with her. The Queen of Mourning. Deep undercover, Nina Zenik risks discovery and death as she wages war on Fjerda from inside its capital. But her desire for revenge may cost her country its chance at freedom and Nina the chance to heal her grieving heart. Interesting. I wonder what kind of choice she's going to make. I also wonder if it's going to be separate again because it doesn't say anything about where Nikolai and Zoya will be, and it doesn't say anything about the Shuhan. King General Spy. Together, they must find a way to forge a future in the darkness or watch a nation fall. Forge a future in the darkness. Super vague. Or watch a nation fall. I wish this book did something big like the fall of Ravka. What would it do to Nikolai? It's not going to happen, but like these are big words. I will tell you, they will forge a future in the not-so-darkness. Also, Leigh Bardugo says this is the grand finale for the Grishaverse. So this book is supposed to wrap up this whole arc and then we'll go on to see different adventures. She will write the next Six of Crows book. That's very exciting but also terrifying because I don't want a worse sequel for that series. Maybe it's better to leave it and just do some new adventures in the Grishaverse, but we'll see. That book is probably not even in 2022 though, because she will probably release the sequel to Ninth House in 2022. Obviously, the Shadow and Bone Netflix adaptation is coming, but the new info is scaring me a bit. Leigh Bardugo is saying things like it's really high budget fan fiction. I don't want that. I want a proper adaptation, especially for Six of Crows. I don't want fan fiction. I don't know, Netflix usually doesn't start marketing until like a month before release unless there's a famous actor attached to the show, and there aren't any A-list actors on Shadow and Bone, so I don't know when we'll actually see anything from the show. Based on the release date of this book, I assume spring 2021 or at best early 2021. But that's all we have on Rule of Wolves. I'm always excited for the next Grisha book, so looking forward to reading this one. But I want to know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like to let me know. And there are tons of Grisha content on this channel and more to come, especially with the show coming. So make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss, and I'll see you next time.
I am complete. I am complete. I am complete. I am